when you're talking in front of senior management, you're there in front of them because they want to hear what you have to say. They respect your position and they value what you have to say, but you in turn have to value their time and respect that time. And you also have to respect their intelligence. And what I had to learn going from academia into industry, and then I moved back into academia, is I had to relearn how to communicate. I had to be less verbose. I had to be concise. I had colleagues might say, Steve, we love you to death. You have a lot to say. And the challenge is you have a lot to say. I said, you have the right ideas. You have the right model. You're persuasive, but we've got to get it down into bite-sized chunks. Remember, the senior managers are senior managers because they're hyper intelligent. They're there because they've been successful. They get it. Okay. It doesn't take a lot to persuade them if you have a good cogent argument, and you can do it in a very short period of time. So, a lot of people say, well, you have 2 minutes to be persuasive. No, you don't. You have 30 seconds. Okay. You have 30 seconds and you better be able to get your point across in that 30 seconds. And so what I'm trying to help my students by using Lucid charts is to allow them to be creative and to be able to, by putting a message in a visual format, you have to be hyper organized. You have to be hyper concise. You have to be hyper prioritized in being able to identify what is the most cogent, most persuasive, most important points that you have to get across. Okay. And that's what I try to help my students, is to be able to communicate in a visual format, because all communication is persuasive. And so what Lucidchart does is that it forces students to do all of those things: prioritize, organize, persuade, and to be very, very concise. Okay. And so that's why I like to use it, because in my industry experience, I've had to use all kinds of different tools and techniques. I've had to do project management. I've had to use Venn diagrams. I've had to use flow diagrams. I've had to use process excellence and Six Sigma, and I've had to constantly persuade people why the idea that I was communicating to them was important for them to listen to, and why they had to make certain capital investments or had to shift investments to other priorities in order to be able to satisfy the needs of the customer, or to be able to improve the service delivery of the product. And that was oftentimes, most of the time, all the time, through visual presentation. It was through PowerPoint, and it was through use of charts. I just wish I had Lucid charts when I worked for Rolls-Royce. That would have been a boon for me,